Okay, we're back, and Nigerians, what is the attitude to the cost of governance? Far too high is the opinion, whether it is informed or not, of most Nigerians. But it's not as if reducing the numbers in a convoy of one state governor or one minister, or for that matter, the president, will solve all the problems, because there are other areas of spending, and let me not say waste. There are other areas of spending that is under this ambit of seeking a reduction in the cost of governance. There's the whole matter about the aids. Yeah, we've heard about from Mr. Adekunle telling us, and it is true, how we've inherited the expatriate syndrome that the Oyimbos had when they were here. And we simply, when we took over as well, where government will provide even your fork, your spoon, and your knife for you, not to mention your plate. But there are some things that need to change in the minds of people, especially because this is a very important sacrifice that is being made at the behest of the Tinubu administration. He didn't start it. It was set up by the Muhammadu Buhari administration, but Tinubu got to execute it. And therefore, the paradigm is different now. So what shows the most is what we are just grabbing onto, because we see it day in, day out. But it's not as if it's the only thing. There seems to be no limit to the number of aides that a politician can have, be it the governor, be it minister, especially when it comes to governors and the president. That will have its costs, because all of this is in there. There are other hidden ones that we actually don't know about. It is that, Honorable Ogene Ego, that I think Nigerians are seeking a conversation on. That is there are so many areas. We're not saying Mr. Adekunle was pointing out, and you know already, that members of parliament in the UK, they ride tune, they're on the tube, they ride bicycles, they ride, in short, they are ordinary, and they can get arrested by the police if you misbehave. All of those kinds. In short, Mr. Adekunle explained the point that they're just a little different from us, but we don't have that. They are totally segmented in a sort of watertight compartment, all public officials, and that is what Nigerians are now questioning. And whereas Mr. Ego has spoken well about not focusing exclusively on the National Assembly and state houses of assembly, I accept that. But there is yet to be seen the offering of Cios 2. I used to be in a Mercedes 7000 XLL. I just made that up. But now you can see that it's just a Mercedes 200 that we're using now. It's part of the sacrifice. That kind of a metaphor is not yet coming from government. But before you come in, sir, Honorable Ego, Mazi OKOROAFOR has looked in from AROCHUKWU. Good morning, Mazi.
Good morning, English Center. You see, there's nothing wrong in moving subsidy. What we're talking about is the timing. Now, government would have looked into starting from Buhari's regime, the issue of how to cushion the effect of this removal. Now, if you look at...
Sorry, sir. Sorry, Mazi. I agree with you entirely, but we're talking now about reduction in the cost of government. Subsidy has been removed. You've said it. There's nothing wrong in it. But let us all contribute to this belt tightening is the subject matter of this conversation. And government so far doesn't appear to have offered that yet in the minds of some.
But what you are supposed to look at is this, Ayori. If you look around, there are three major things a country looks into. One, food, security, and energy. Now, if you look at the World Bank report, they are saying that insecurity will slow down Nigerian goods. People have said it. But nobody's supposed to tell us that. But the issue is this. If government will sit down and look at all the variables, the indices attached to it. Now, our educational sectors, what is happening? There's a lot of people that have been going back to school. You have seen it, the school fees have increased. And people are saying, all these mass transit buses, and thank God for other states, for some states that are doing it. It is also, now look at what is happening in Southeast. when some group of women have proposed that from 1st August to what? To 14 August, people should start. Is it not affecting the economy? It's also affecting the economy of Southeast, economy of Nigeria, economy of West Africa. What are we supposed to do? Is it not now that we're supposed to take precautionary measures to avert such an incident? But as people are calling the Southeast governors, are just going now to sit down now to fight something so that before that 1st August, something will not happen. But everybody is sitting down. We are now waiting for fire brigade. Look, everybody has to see that, like what Reverend Father Joseph Abati said last time. He said that Nigerians are in accord that the petrol issue is there. Go and buy good shoes so that we trade well. But even though you trade, you are also energizing yourself. It's also helping your head. But too much drinking also affects other systems. But the thing is that government should try as much as possible, in as much as we are proposing for the use of ministers, bring in people that we can preach the issue of this removal of subsidy. We don't bring in people that they just want to do follow come. No. Let us bring people that are technocrats, people that are talented, people that are ready to do the job. It will help us. Okay.
All right, Mazi, thank you very much for calling in. So coming to you now, Honorable Ego, I suppose part of the situation is also our very Nigerian aspect to politics, especially when you win an election. There's so many people to, quote-unquote, settle. There must be jobs for the boys. This is how you pay back. I'm just saying it as crudely as I am, maybe because I'm not a politician. But people think that that is what is going on here. So you keep on putting people in because you took a part. You took a part. You must be rewarded. And before we know, we have a bloated kind of governance structure between the executive, the MDAs, and all of that. I guess there's that aspect as well. Speak to that aspect of innumerable assistants, special assistants, the ones that are not special, the ones that are senior, the ones that are just regular assistants. That kind of way, the bill must be humongous.
Yes, I agree with you that the demand for the public, especially the constituencies, is enormous. And as a result, honorable members, senators, they face the prospect of going to look for more money to take care of them. And this sometimes affects the cost of governance. Because everybody is coming, everybody believes that the honorable member should build a house for them, he should pay their hospital bill, should send their children to school. Even total things that is not supposed to be the duty of the honorable member. So these are a lot of pressure. But we can still reduce the cost of governance. And in doing that, I'm saying let's look at the whole country holistically. Let's look at the executive arm of, let's look at ministers. How much do ministers spend to run their offices? Nobody talks about it.
Maybe this is even the time to look at proper fiscal federalism. But I know that's a big subject. In the meantime, Mr. George has come in. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to your guests.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Uncle Yori, no matter how we overflow this issue of cost of governance, it's not going to work as long as the National Assembly have this kind of attitude that they are displaying. You bring a budget to them, they will, instead of scrutinizing the budget, they will increase the budget, for their own maintenance. I don't know where that is done. For as long as they are the ones to approve the budget, it will be difficult to reduce cost of governance at the National Assembly level. What can happen, what I would want to suggest, is that Nigeria should scrap one chamber in the National Assembly. Let us have one chamber, either the Senate or the House of Representatives. So if we maintain two chambers, it will continue to remain like that.
Exactly.
But as I'm seeing on your station, there is a breaking news that NSC is threatening to go on a strike because of removal of fuel subsidy. I'm really surprised at what NSC is doing. They seem to be playing politics. NSC supported a candidate during the elections, and that candidate said he was going to remove fuel subsidy. NSC campaign, we saw them. Now, the subsidy has been removed by the person that won. Instead of NSC to come up with ideas on how subsidy can be ameliorated. The effects of subsidy can be. They didn't come up with anything. They are just behaving like people who didn't go to school. It is not the government that fixes price of petroleum or of petrol anymore. once the subsidy is removed, you cannot blame the government about the price. They're asking that the government will should cancel the subsidy remover.
Exactly.
Who does that?
No.
Please, somebody should educate them.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Mr. Adekunle, I saw that you had a nice, good laugh there. Honorable Ego, I was with you before, but I wanted to go to Mr. Adekunle. Mr. Adekunle, you had a nice laugh there. You agreed. And don't forget that Honorable Ego had, no, it wasn't Honorable Ego. It was Mr. George who called in from Lagos, who was saying that as long as things remain the way they are, the National Assembly, there's no way it's going to legislate against its own interests, so that is a problem there.
But it's not exactly like that. Sorry, it's not exactly like that. National Assembly cannot, beyond the budget that is provided, which the presidency also is aware of, National Assembly cannot unilaterally increase the budget to satisfy themselves. It has never happened. Rather, when National Assembly looks at the budget, if they find that a certain part of the country are cheated in the allocation of resources, they can draw the attention of the ministry to it, and with common agreement, the budget can be increased to take care of all the areas. So National Assembly, they carry out a balancing act, but it's not as if National Assembly is just here to enrich themselves. No. But like I said, there's need to reduce the cost of government across the board, and National Assembly will also have to suffer it. National Assembly need to sit with the executive and say, hey, National Assembly, you must reduce this. And it should not be at the national level only. Even at the states.
Yes.
You find out that from the states, yes.
At a tiny level, people have always opined that the National Assembly is paying itself too much. It's easy to say when you are not the person. I understand.
The National Assembly that fixes their salary. The mistake people are making is allowances for the job of a National Assembly member. So National Assembly members like me, I have close to 1 million people in my constituency. When you have a constituency like that, you have constituency office, you have staff, you cannot pay that from your pocket because you don't have the money. So there's a provision, when you go for oversight, for flight ticket, to and fro, to stay hotel, there's a provision. And this money, you retire it. You give account of how it was spent. The salary is
it's not like the security vote.
To look at all the people look at all the money spent to run the office. You look at it.
I don't know. I beg your pardon, sir. So how do we reduce the cost of governance in Nigeria? Got two people, looking at this subject, Mr. Honorable Ogene Ego, former member of the House of Representatives, and Mr. Tunde Adekunle, expert oil and gas projects management. And in the meantime, we got a call in from, I think Mr. Alex in Abuja is still there. Morning, Mr. Alex. No, he's not there anymore. Or are you? Okay, so coming to you, Mr. Adekunle, you were about to speak, but the honorable gentleman, he came in because he had to, address what he felt was an erroneous impression. But now, back to you. The whole matter about looking inward and deciding which of your perks, which, as a sort of a token, which of your perks are you ready to give up now? We've not heard anything like that, and that seems to be, there was a video circulating on social media this morning, saying this morning in Lagos, and there were hordes of people walking to their places of livelihood. So they're busy putting those kind of pictures out. It would be nice if it can be matched with a scale down in the opulence of governance, or what do you think?
First of all, I'd like to respond to what the Honorable said.
Sure.
And which he opened a good door. He said people look at the perks of the office, that their remuneration is 800,000 naira or thereabout, or something, if I'm right. Yes, it is that perks of office that is the problem. Now, when you, some of the perks are furniture allowance, dressing allowance, and the begging question is this: were they naked? Were they walking naked before they came honorables? This cuts across board, both federal and state. Dressing allowance, furniture allowance, some tea allowance, traveling allowance.
Frivolities to most ordinary suffering Nigerians.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I can let me say something here. Now, like I said, the legislator here, and the citizen, the average citizen, there is not much of any difference.
In the UK?
The perks they have. Sorry?
In the UK?
Yes, in Britain, even in UK, even in America, even in Germany, they are just like you and I.
Okay.
They're just like the next door neighbor. There's no difference.
But that is not our style. Sorry, sir. That is not our Niger style. That is not the Niger style.
It is not.
We have a Rankadede kind of a style.
Like I said, we inherited, when they came, they handed it over to us and left for their various countries.
And then we took over.
And we took over and we built on it. It is alien to them. Because they like now, if you are living in Nigeria, you have your own house. Of course, when you're going outside the country, you have to be made comfortable. To leave your country, you be made comfortable where you are going.
I understand.
Maybe that place is a hostile country. You have to be made comfortable. Security will be provided for you and all that. Well, but when you go back to Nigeria, you live like a Nigerian.
Okay, but maybe that's part of the attitude. The man who is coming in from one of the states who's been elected into the National Assembly, now you have to take care of him till he comes back to his regular. Tony in Enugu, good morning to you, sir. Tony in Enugu.
Good morning, Mr. Ayori. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, please, I want to contribute to what the topic is all about.
Sure.
Cost of governance. Please. That has been in the front burner for many, many, many years. We Nigerians are very, very good in maybe discussion and profiling solutions in all of this. But at the end of the day, it will come to naught. The National Assembly, they are ab initio, they are meant to be part-time. You remember when it was discussed a long time ago, it was supposed to be part-time. But look at them. Only 3 days in a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they go home. And they are taking the chunk of Nigeria. Look at the flamboyance with which the Senate president, the way he moves now, even more than some African countries' president.
Okay. So what you're doing, sorry, Tony, because we've run out of time. Thank you very much for calling in. You are underlining what we are talking about. That, in fact, you introduced another word, flamboyance. This is the way a lot of Nigerians, whether it is right or wrong is another matter. Honorable Ego, I understand that you're very anxious to butt in here because you've also taken part in this flamboyance, especially between 8th and 9th Assembly. So go ahead, sir, and say what you want to say.
Yes. Now, the National Assembly does not sit for only 3 days. After these 3 days, there are committee meetings, and there are oversight. All that is part of the city. You see 3 days, all the committees will be meeting. There's public hearing on Monday, Fridays, even sometimes Saturdays. We can even say that National Assembly is sitting 6 days. But
that's important
if you just look at only the one they sit in the plenary, then you are wrong. National Assembly sees more than that. But we agree that there's need to reduce cost of governance. The National Assembly need to cut down costs. But the executive arm of government, that's where much of the money is going to. That's why I'm saying you cut costs here more. For instance, a governor that's having security vote running into billions of naira monthly, and nobody knows that.
It's not accounted for.
People are not focusing there at all. All they're talking about National Assembly. Meanwhile, the budget of National Assembly is less than 1%, less than 0.5% of the total budget. So we should look at the executive arm of government too, and then with the National Assembly together. But when we continue to focus on National Assembly alone, we get it wrong. Because even if National Assembly cut all the costs, the cost of government will still be high. Because what is expended in the National Assembly is infinitesimal compared to the total budget of the nation. But I agree that the common man is suffering, and some people cannot continue to live like lords. And the National Assembly members, they are ordinary people. They are not people who they say, oh, they are above the law, they can't be arrested by police. No. They are only immune on what they say during the city. You know, so but this impression that National Assembly people are big people is wrong.
I hear you. Let me go back to Mr. Adekunle because we're fast running out of time. And I hear what you're saying, but I don't know, this attitude, the aspect that the honorable gentleman is interested in pointing out is that far too much attention is being paid to the National Assembly. But so let me just say, Mr. Adekunle, that, you know, we're hearing that the presidency, in coming up with its ministerial nominees list, it's also sort of consolidating some different aspects of governance into one, all in an effort to sort of, you know, make it more efficient, make it less costly. So I imagine that they also, in the Tinubu administration, are looking at what they can add to this whole matter. But there is no doubt that we can do a lot more in terms of reducing the size of governance. We might not get to where you guys are in the UK, where honorable members and distinguished senators are to be seen on trains and on buses and on bicycles, but at least we start from somewhere, right, Mr. Adekunle?
Yes, yes, fine. The honorable laid emphasis on the fact that people see picking on the National Assembly members. Yes, people are picking on them more because they are supposed to be our representatives. So, and we elected them.
Okay.
Not that we don't pick on the government,
we do,
but they are supposed to be part of us. So, but they are alienated from us.
All right. Well, I'm afraid we've run out of time. Thank you very much, Mr. Adekunle. I'm afraid we've run out of time. It always hurts because there's so many people who would have wanted to call in, couldn't get through it. So I've just got to say thank you very much to you, Mr. Tunde Adekunle, oil and gas projects management expert, and Honorable, thank you, and also Honorable Ogene Ego, former member of the House of Reps and member of the ECOWAS Parliament. Thank you also for making time available for us this morning. Gentlemen, we appreciate you all. So,
thank you very much.
Indeed.